Hi everyone, this is Rosa Kelly. So I'm here today with a new fun interactive tutorial. So I hope that you guys are excited and let's get right to it. So hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm super excited to start a whole new tutorial for you. We are going to be creating a super fun lapbook. I love making lapbooks because they're just so dynamic, so interactive, and full of different fun elements that I just can't wait to see it all come together. I have my notes. I've been planning this for a couple days and I'm excited that I finally have the time to make this video. As you can see, we are going to be using the Boho Dreams collection by Little Birdie. You can of course use anything that you have, but I wanted to create using this collection because it's just so fun and so sweet. It has these beautiful unicorns and it has a lot of different cut parts and different elements that we can use to create so many dynamic little pieces. So let's go ahead and get started. So first, let's go over the chipboard pieces that we are going to need for the structure. So I'm going to be using one piece of 8 by 10, one piece of 8 by 8, two pieces of 8 by 1.5, and one piece of 8 by 4. And for those of you who like to see the instructions written down, I'm gonna have the tutorial available on my website, so you can find the link on the description box down below. So now I'm going to use some lightweight cardstock. This is 65 pounds and I like using lightweight. I always say this for my cover because the cardstock is just a lot more flexible and it's not going to crack or wrinkle. I'm going to join 3 pieces of 12 by 12 together. So I'm gonna use some double-sided tape. I'm just gonna place this right here. Okay, so we're just gonna peel off the tape here and join these 2 pieces. There you go. And then we're gonna do the same with the 3rd piece. Let's take this out. So we're gonna start with the 8 by 10 piece. I'm going to add my double-sided tape just all along the chipboard here. Okay, so now we're just gonna peel off the tape. Okay, so I have my tape in there and we are just going to place this first piece right on the center, just like that. And then we're going to add the next 2 small pieces here. So I'm gonna add my tape again. So now we're gonna add the 2 pieces on the sides and we're going to keep a little distance from the first chipboard piece. So we're gonna keep this away about 1/8 of an inch, just this much, which is probably the same size of one of your chipboard pieces, just like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna place this down and we're gonna do the next one on the other side. And then we're gonna add the other 2 pieces. So I'm just gonna put my tape all over these 2 sections here. So now we're gonna do the 8 by 8 piece on the left side. And finally, we're going to do the 8 by 4 on the other side. Okay, so just like that. And now I'm just going to take off all of this extra cardstock on both sides. So for this side we're good. And then let's go to the other side. I'm just gonna make this a little bit smaller. You only need about 1 inch all the way around. Okay, so we're gonna do that. And then I'm gonna use my handy dandy tool here and we are just going to cut right there. So you can either trace and mark, but because I like to skip a step, I'm just gonna go like this, just like that. And I do have a link where you guys can find that if you're interested. I'm gonna put it on the description box down below. So I'm going to cut all of my corners and then I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're gonna continue wrapping around the cover. We're just gonna softly bend around the cardstock, so we don't want to crack this. You just want to massage the paper a little bit, and then once you have it where you want it, then you're gonna press down with your little tool just right there. So I'm gonna do that for the two long sides here. Okay, so now I'm just going to add my double-sided tape to the long sides first, and we're going to put this down here on the base, just like that. So now it's nice and easy since we already pre-folded this whole long area. We're gonna do the same for the other side, and then we're gonna do the short side. So for the short sides, again, we're just gonna fold first the cardstock just like this, and then you do want to tuck in your little corners right here, that way it's not too pointy. I usually just do this with my nails, but you can definitely use your little bone folder as well if you like. And then I'm just gonna fold this down and press on it, and then we're gonna add the tape and just finish up wrapping this base. So we're just gonna take that out, press it down, and we're gonna do the same for the other side. Okay, so now that we have everything wrapped up, we're going to mark where our bending points are, our bending lines. So I'm just gonna go with my ruler and gently score on each one of these gaps on the cardstock on top of the gap. That way it'll be a lot easier to fold and you're not going to bubble up your paper around it. So we're just gonna do it like that, and then you're gonna hold your ruler and basically just push this up like that. So now we have one side, and we're gonna do the same for this other side. I'm just gonna score and score and do the same thing on this last one, just like that. Okay, so then we're gonna fold and fold, and there you go. So now we have the base of our little lap book. Cute is this, look. I just love how albums feel when they have a smaller gusset or spine. It's just so easy to manage, I think, and I love it. And that's why they're called lap books, because you basically will hold this little book and put it on your lap and just start playing with all the different elements that we're gonna add in here. So before I move on to the layers, we're gonna start building 2 layers on top of these. But first I'm going to add my leftover cardstock pieces right here on the spine to cover this up. So I'm gonna cut this piece at 7 3/4. I'm actually going to do 2 pieces, and we're just gonna glue that on top of the spine. Okay, so I glued the 2 pieces, and now we're just gonna do the same thing. We're going to score right here to help this bend again. So there you go. So now we have our spines covered on the inside, down with the base over here, and we're gonna start working on the inside of the lap book. So the way this is gonna go is we're gonna have the base back here, down here, and we're gonna have 3 different levels. So we're gonna start building each one of the levels first, and then we're gonna put it all together and come back to the base. Okay, so I'm gonna put this aside. I love how this looks already. And I cut 2 pieces of paper here. I'm only using 8.5 and 8.5 by 11 heavyweight cardstock. I was using 12 by 12 because that is lightweight. 110 is 8.5 by 11. I kind of have to complement another piece here. So what we're gonna do is cut a piece of 9.5 by 8.5. And then we're gonna do another piece of 9.5 by 1 inch. If you have heavyweight cardstock that is 12 by 12, you only are gonna need a piece of 9.5 by 9.5. And now let me bring my scoreboard here, and I'm gonna line this up along 8.5 inches, and we are gonna score 1/2 inch on one side. So you can either do 1/2 inch or 8 inches. You just want a little 1/2 inch piece right here. And for the second piece, we are going to score at 1 inch. And so we're gonna have a 1 inch and a 1/2 inch. If you have a 9.5 by 9.5 piece of heavyweight cardstock, you are just gonna have to score at 1 inch and 1/2 inch. So you're gonna have a piece like this. So what we're gonna do right now to make this into a 9.5 by 9.5 is glue the 1/2 inch score lines together. So I'm just gonna put one on top of the other one like this. All right, so I'm just gonna do this like that. And we're just gonna put the second piece right on top. Now make sure that your score lines are not touching because you want to bend along the score line. Now we have this one long piece of 9.5 by 9.5, just like that, and then the 1 inch here. Okay, so there you go. So it's really important that you use 110 pounds weight, because you want the pages on your lap book to be really sturdy, especially these type of pages that are kind of like the base, the foundation of everything. So this 1 inch is going to be attached here on the base of the book. Okay, but for now I'm going to keep this out just so it's a little bit easier to work with. And this is going to be our level 1 if you're following the PDF tutorial. This is the level 1 section. So then we're going to cut 2 pieces of 5 3/4 by 8 inches, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch and 1 inch. We're gonna do this for both. So 1/2 inch and 1 inch right there. And we're just going to fold along the score lines, just like this. We're gonna do both. So then I'm going to add my double-sided tape to the first 1/2 inch section. The second 1/2 inch is going to be your little gusset for this first level. And we're going to do the same on the other side. And we're just creating like a little gatefold closure for this. So I'm going to line up. I'm going to make this flat for now, and I'm going to take out just a little bit of the tape, and we're going to line up one on each side. So I'm going to start with the left, just like that, and then we're going to do the other side as well. So I'm going to take out this piece, line up the corner on the bottom, and then we're going to remove this tape. Okay, just like that. So now we have this gatefold opening for this first level, and then we also have like a 1/2 inch gusset for this page as well. So we're going to now stand up the gusset. So we have it on this position, and we're going to build on the inside there as well. But first, let's do what I want to do here for the closure. So now we're going to use 2 pieces of 9 by 3.5, and I'm going to score at 1/2 inch on both sides. And we're going to do the same for both pieces. So I'm scoring at 8.5 and at 1/2 inch, and we're gonna fold along the score lines, just like this. Okay, so now we're gonna add these pieces on our flaps. So we're just gonna line up right on the outside edge, and we're gonna glue this right there using this little 1/2 inch little flaps that we added. So I'm just gonna add my glue. And I'm going to do one side, and we're just going to line it up here on the corner, just like that. Okay, I'm gonna start with the top, and then I'm going to do the bottom right here. Oops. Okay, and I'm going to add this right there. Okay, so now I'm just gonna press this flat so you can glue, and we're creating this little belly band, and we're gonna do the same for the other side as well. So now we have these two belly band pieces, and this is going to be the closure for this level, and for that we're gonna need something to insert across. So I have two pieces here. One is 8.5 by 7 inches, and the other one's 8.5 by 7.5 inches. So we're going to score along the 7.5. We're just gonna put this on the side, and we're gonna score at 7 inches, just like that. And we're just creating like a little folder to add more pictures. So I'm just going to fold along the score line, and then we're going to join these two pieces together. So I'm gonna add my glue. You can do this with tape if you like as well. I just prefer working with glue because to me it's a lot faster, and the glue holds really good as well. So here we go. We're just gonna press this down, and now we have this large folder type of, place, so you can put a lot of smaller pictures or a couple larger pictures here as well. And this is going to go slide in between the two belly bands to keep this whole area closed. Okay, so now we're gonna take this out, and we're gonna open up the book, and we're gonna work on the inside here for a little bit. So I'm just gonna lay this flat, and I went ahead and cut a piece of my design paper. Now this piece measures 9.25 by 7.75, and before I glue this down, there is a little feature that we're gonna add in there. So I'm gonna put this to the side for now, and we're gonna work on this page. So I'm going to need 4 little pieces of 3.5 by 3.5, one piece of 5 by 1 inch, or I think this is 1.5, but this is just a little piece from my scraps. I think, yeah, it's 1.5. And then I'm also going to need another piece of 3.5 by 7.5, and we're gonna start with this large piece. So for this one, we're going to score 1/2 inch 4 times. So we're gonna do 1/2 inch, 1, 1.5, and 2 inches. And we're gonna have this little piece that looks like this, and we're just gonna fold along each one of the score lines, just like that. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're going to glue each one of the 3.5 by 3.5 pieces on each one of these little score lines. So we're gonna start with the first one, and we're gonna add some glue just right there, and we're gonna place that first piece on this little line, and then we're gonna go ahead and do the same one for the next one. So now we're gonna work on that second score line that we have, and we're just gonna do our glue one more time like this, and place the next one on this line. Okay, so make sure that it's not touching the next line over, and then we're gonna do the same to the next 1/2 inch, little bit of glue, next piece. Okay, so now we have 3 pieces down, and then we're gonna do the last piece, and there you go. So now we have our 4 little pieces for this little pull down waterfall feature, so it's gonna look like this. So then we're gonna grab the piece that measures 1.5 by 5 inches, and we're gonna place this on the page. I'm just gonna add glue to both sides like this, just a little bit of glue, and we're going to just place this down. So I want to put this at an angle like that, so it's a little bit more fun. And I'm just gonna wait for that to dry. On the meantime, I'm going to cut a piece of paper to cover this little piece. Okay, so I'm just gonna glue this little piece over. This one I'm gonna glue everywhere, and we're just gonna put this right on top, just like that. Then we're gonna grab our little waterfall piece that we did, and we're gonna open it like this, and we're gonna insert that on this little belly band that we added. And I'm just gonna place this right there, just like that. And then I'm going to center this piece, and that's how it's going to go. So I'm gonna hold down on the bottom, and we're gonna open this up, and we're gonna add some glue right there. So I'm just gonna add my glue on this little section where the waterfall is gonna sit on. Okay, and then I'm still gonna hold this, and then we're gonna close this down, just like that. And before you pull this down, wait for the glue to dry. And then if you like, you can cover up the little squares with your design paper, or you can just leave it to add a picture on it. Okay, so there you go. So now once you pull down on that waterfall on the last piece, you're gonna have your pull down feature, which is quite fun to have on your books. I always like to incorporate that on some of my albums. So now I'm going to bring back my first level that we worked on, and we're gonna open this up completely, and we're gonna glue this piece down here. So I'm just gonna add my glue, just like that, all the way. And I love this cardstock because it's really sturdy, so it's just gonna give your lapbook a lot more stability. Okay, so there we go. Just add it right there. Okay, so now we're just gonna press down, and there you go. Okay, so now we're gonna work on these 2 flaps for the side. For that, we're going to be doing a couple of accordion folds. So we're gonna need 2 pieces of cardstock, and I cut these pieces at 9 by 8 inches. So we're going to score these pieces at 4 1/4 and at 8 1/2. And we're gonna do the same for the other one. So now we're going to add each one of these accordion folds into each side. So I'm going to add glue on this 1/2 inch flap here, and we are just going to line this up to one side, just like that. And then we're gonna do the other one for the other side. So again, I'm just gonna line that up, just like this. And now we have our 2 accordion folds. So let's see, I don't know if I can show both at the same time. And finally, we're going to use 2 pieces of 8 inches by 5 inches, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch for both. So we're going to fold along the score lines now, and this is going to go on top of the accordion fold, and I'll show you in a minute. So this is going to be a little closure for that. So we're just gonna fold along the lines, and now let me bring my book back here, and we're going to place these pages on the opposite side of the accordion fold. So we're going to stay away from that score line, and we're going to just place it right next to it. So I'm going to add my glue, And I'm going to place these right there like that. Okay, so again we're gonna stay just right off that score line, and then we're gonna close our little accordion, and this is gonna go right on top like that. So you can go ahead and add magnets on this side to keep this closed, and this is gonna open up like that, and then we're gonna have the little accordion fold revealed, and we're gonna do the same for this side as well. So I'm gonna open this up, and I'm going to add this piece. So we're just gonna add some glue, and again we're gonna line it up right next to the score line, right there like that. And there you go. So now we're gonna close down this side as well, and we're gonna close both of these gatefold pages, and then we're going to use our little folder that we made here to keep this page closed. So I'm just gonna go through both of these belly bands, and once we add that paper, this belly band is gonna be kind of hidden. This is why I wanted to do it kind of touching like that. And now we're ready to add this set of pages, or this first level, down to our base. So this is why I have this long 1 inch here, because I want to make sure that it holds this whole thing really good. So we're going to add glue on this 1 inch. You can do tape as well if you like. I just think glue holds a little bit better actually. And I'm just gonna fold this flat for now, and we're going to line this up right there, whoops, right on the center, just like that. So I'm just gonna push this down flat. So once this is dry, you're going to stand up your little 1/2 inch gusset. Right now it's going to lay flat because we don't have anything on the base, but we are going to continue working on the base as well as the other levels that are gonna go on top of these. So I think for today we're gonna stop right here, and I'm gonna be back with the next part with the other levels. So I hope that you guys are enjoying this tutorial. I'm super excited to see this come together. I will have written instructions on my website, as I mentioned. They won't be available right away. They will be done probably the minute this whole thing is complete. That's when I will be having it on my website, but I'm gonna have the link on the description box down below. And so yeah, and also I want to remind you that this weekend is my first live classroom. So if you guys want to be part of that, make sure that you are a member to the channel, and hopefully we can do some fun crafting online live. So I'm super excited for that very first class. So yeah, so I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.